Well, welcome to this tutorial for Edius Editing and News, and today I'd like to run through how to create this waveform effect or LED metering effect in a news story. First of all, we need a news story. Here's one we've prepared earlier. I have a clip here that hasn't got any vision attendant with it. It's just a bit of audio.
It's quite extraordinary that Tim Nichols has refused to commit.
And this could be a phoner recording, or perhaps it's a radio recording, an off-air recording, and we want to dress it up. Maybe it will have a quote, maybe it will have an image from graphics of the person that's speaking, but we'd like to animate it so that it has a bit more life. So first thing that we're going to do is make sure that we have installed the effects audio meters. And we could simply do that if we don't already have it by going Effect, Import, select the appropriate effect that you want to import and click Open. I've already done that. Unfortunately, I have a nested folder, but here they all are over here. You can see that there is a name, an explicit name for each one of these, but we can't apply this to anything. There's nothing in our video track. What shall we do? Well, I need to access this audio at the bottom. So I'm going to zoom into my required piece of audio, this one. I'll make sure that it's not highlighted, so the green and dark green is a bit more contrasty. I'm going to expand the clip if I haven't done already. Make it larger. Please get larger, there we go. Make sure that we turn off pan and volume, so there's no extraneous lines. And now I'm going to use the magic ingredient, the snipping tool. If we go down to the start bar and type in snip, and we should get this Windows application, snipping tool, and it's for grabbing bits of screen and saving them as JPEGs. It's very handy. So it's on new. It will allow us to drag a box around this clip. So I'm going to pick the largest part of the waveform and start there at the beginning of the clip, go along to the end of the clip, and then go up to encompass the rest of the waveform. Try and get that line in the middle to be in the center of our snip. There we have it. So this line here should be in the middle, which gives us equal amount top and bottom of waveform to use. Now we're going to save that into the project that we have created. In this case, it's the 7PMB Queensland polls into Tuesday's folder. I'm going to save it here. I've already created one, but I'll call this one wave again. Save. And it says, do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. I can close that now. I don't need that. So now I have transformed the audio into a piece of video. I'll swap over to the bin, and I'm going to right mouse click and click Add File, or Control O. Make sure that we have Transfer to Project folder turned on. There's our graphic there. Here's the image. Transfer to Project folder means that it will ingest the media and make sure Stratus can see it. Click Open, and it places the clip in the bin. We'll drag that down onto the timeline or edit it onto the timeline. Drag it out the full length of the audio clip, so that when we animate this, it will animate along the length of the clip. So it has to go all the way to the end and be the same length as this. Now all I have to do is drop an effect on there. So we'll swap back to the effects, look for audio meter effects, and select the one that we want to use. We could use, let me see, one channel green, traditional effect. Play that. Oh, play that along.
Quite extraordinary that Tim Nichols has refused to commit.
Now you can see that's not matching at all. That's because the way that it's been animated as a default, it only runs for about 6 seconds. There is no way of knowing exactly how long your piece of media will last. So with that clip highlighted and with the effect applied, we'll go to the information window and scroll up to the very first effect, which is the transform effect. Double click on the transform effect, ignore what's happening over here in the preview, and we want to grab these end keyframes. grab the top one, which is the master transform keyframe, and we're going to drag it all the way across to the edge. And that is the end of your clip. If you drag the play line, the playhead across, you'll see that it ends there as well. Click OK. Now, when the playback occurs, the meter will bounce up and down in accordance with the waveform.
It's quite extraordinary that Tim Nichols
You'll
has
see there's a gap
refused
coming.
to commit to this project, but he's happy
And another
to
gap
petition
coming
the
where it goes
Palaszczuk
silent.
government to build this project.
So there you have it. That's an LED meter. Now if you want to move that around the screen, scroll to the bottom, double click the other transform button, and you can reposition it and scale it however you want.
Extraordinary that Tim Nichols...
Or rotate it, anything you like. Now that's not all there is, of course. There are other effects. There is a variety of different kinds of LED meters.
It's quite extraordinary that
These blue
Tim
ones.
Nichols has...
But you will have to do the same thing with the transform effect. The first one, open it, just drag that top keyframe all the way to the end, click OK. And now it will match up with the waveform.
It's quite extraordinary that Tim Nichols has refused to commit to this project, but he's happy to petition the Palaszczuk government.
Now you can see that there is some extra noise happening in behind. See that noise? That is the little diagonal lines present in the Edius XS screen display. They're a bit more tricky to eliminate. This doesn't occur if you're using an Edius Elite and I think perhaps Edius laptop system. They don't have these proxy version displays. I don't know of a way to eliminate them. Perhaps you could play around with the curves and other effects, but anyway, it doesn't happen in Edius Elite. Let's delete all of those and try one other effect. We'll go with the 3D blue, which gives us a trace. Well, maybe we'll try the simple trace. Put the simple trace on. Again, I need to scroll up and find the transform. Drag that green master keyframe across. Press play.
It's quite extraordinary that Tim Nichols has refused to commit
And now we
to
get
this
an audio
project,
trace.
but he's happy to petition the...
Again, you could go to the last transform and move that or scale that somewhere else on the screen if you have a person's name or a head on screen.
Refused to commit to this project.
And wait, there's more. So there's one more effect that I've created, and that's the trace but in 3D. So again, we need to scroll to the top. Whoops. We need to scroll to the top, grab that master keyframe, drag it across, click OK, and hit play.
It's quite extraordinary that Tim
Again,
Nichols
you can see
has
that noise at the
refused
top
to
and the
commit
bottom. That doesn't appear
to this
on
project,
the
but he's
Edius
happy
Elite
to petition
system.
the Palaszczuk government.
But in this case now we have a more dynamic version of that
Quite
blue
extraordinary
trace.
that Tim...
You can turn off the mirror to flip it to the other side if you prefer.
Quite extraordinary
That's
that
at the bottom of
Tim
the
Nichols
information
has
window.
refused...
And you could add another transform effect on there to move it around the screen. I haven't done that because it's already built in as a 3D effect disappearing off the side of the screen. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these effects. Look, if you need any more, there is a suite of other effects that have been built. You can grab them from Brisbane News, Brisbane ABC News. There's a whole folder full of a variety of different effects. So whatever you might need, broadcast safe, aspect correction, a phone fix, volume control, sound sweetening, all sorts of things. They're very handy, and maybe I'll document them in another video. Thanks very much for watching, and good luck.